Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about peace lily. We've heard of this plant so many times in many videos, among many articles, that they're the best plant for indoor plants and whatnot. They're the easiest plants and whatnot. Personally, my experience in a place like Kolkata, India, where the weather fluctuates from a hot, humid, and terrible weather where humans can't leave to a pleasant weather, you know, mildly cold weather or rainy weather. So most days it's really humid here, even in Octobers and Novembers. So winter is like a very minute period of time, and inside homes, the temperature don't rise up very much, but the humidity and the hotness is very high. So the discomfort index becomes very high. So I have found that despite many claims that the peace lilies are a very easy plant, for me it has been a difficult experience managing them. They do survive. They do survive if you like water regularly and don't miss out on watering. They will survive. But as you can see, they do not thrive in this weather. Like these are the guys who live in rainforest where the temperatures are a little bit lower on the lower side, and the temperatures kind of are not like that here. So, and also I've never been able to make a peace lily flower at this kind of weather. I think it just tries surviving in this weather condition, so it doesn't flower at all. And I'll just tell you about it. I have bought about 4 peace lilies, including the 2 that you can see here. 2 of them I have killed. The first one I killed because it was extreme heat. It went above 43 degrees Celsius, and even though I had kept it in shade and watered it at regular intervals, mind you cannot water it so regularly that it starts having black tips on its edges. I can show you an example. This is an example of black tip. But if you live in, let's say, a place like Bombay or a place like, Delhi, indoors you can keep peace lily plants. But in a place like Kolkata, I don't think so. I haven't been successful in keeping one. And they do well in the nurseries where they are taken care of very well. But the moment you bring them home, they start deteriorating. So I'm going to show you 2 such plants. First of all, this one was initially bought with this leaves, and this is the baby plant that has arrived from underneath. So these kind of baby plants do pop up, but I have never seen baby plants grow like in a healthy big leaves form. It has been about a year now for this guy. This guy had a huge flower when I bought it, so I assumed that this was a healthy one, so if I take care of it, it will flower again. It has pushed out new growth, but do you see this new growth and some variegations on the leaf, if you can see that, but it has not put up flowers. This on the other hand has put up did have a little bit of flower poking out when I bought it from the nursery. So this grew into a big flowery peace lily, and you see it has been about 3-4 months now, I think 3-4 months. So this flower stayed for 3-4 months, but now it has started to blacken on the edges. So it has sort of lived its life. The flower soon will wither away, and then I'll have to clip it from the bottom so that it can push its energy from the new leaves that are coming up. So you see, this I have taken care of quite well. Sometimes I have watered it more, that's why the black edges are there, and here you can see the black edges are there. And this will tell you when it's not happy. So it will droop its leaves like this. You see, these leaves are droopy, right? So it will droop its leaf, and this flower completely falls on the ground when it wants water. So it will tell you when it needs water. But the challenge is, if you always wait for that point to water, this will permanently become droopy, which has happened in the earlier plant. But the challenge here is, in this Kolkata weather, between the soil needing water and the plant being completely droopy, it's barely an hour's difference. So it's very difficult to keep an eye on it all the time. So oftentimes I miss and it becomes completely droopy. That is when I water it. But so long this plant has stayed healthy. This plant is also surviving, but the older leaves are droopy, because what happens is the internal stalks get bent permanently if they are bent too much and due to underwatering. But that's nothing you can do about, because if you start watering it more frequently, it will get soggy, it will start dying off, it will start having black edges, and then you'll have to cut it off like I did in many of the plants. See, I had to cut it off because of black edges. This I had to cut off. Yeah, so that's what happens. So yeah, of course, this plant, if you live in Bombay or Delhi or Chennai, some other place where it's either drier, you can get a feel of the soil and you can water them on a regular basis. Here what happens is the soil remains a little bit humid, and the heat is so high that it needs water, and can't really do that, because if I start watering, it will start withering away. So that's pretty much it. Don't keep it in sunlight, it will not survive sunlight, it will start burning up. And it's just a plant that loves to be indoors. You can keep it, I've heard that you can keep it in dark corners. I've never really kept it in dark corners because it doesn't do well in lighted corners, indirect lighted corners. So I've never really experimented with that, and I'll be honest, I've killed 2 of these despite this plant being claimed very easy. So I don't think this is a easy plant for the place or the weather that I live in. This might be easy in some other place, but it's not here. The other plants that are much easier are the pothos or the philodendrons, the aglaonemas. Then there is satin pothos. Then there is hoyas. Even hoyas have done better. Snake plants. These are the plants that do well in this weather, but peace lilies haven't. So yeah, you can buy them, but don't get too disappointed. Usually the nurseries give this one stalk which doesn't feel full, like you see those plants, peace lily plants on Instagram. You don't get those kind in all the nurseries. And one more thing I want to add is they actually like smaller pots. You see that the smaller pot is doing better, but this is how I got it in the nursery. I did not repot it. I have never repotted this yet. But what happened was some of the leaves started dropping. I don't know what is the root system inside. I've never opened it. I don't want to disturb its roots. It doesn't like to be disturbed, but it likes a root bound pot like this. So for a height of this big plant, this pot is fine. The more the root bound it is, the better it is. So you don't have to replant it to a larger pot. And yeah, if you want to have a bushier, peace lily and all of that, put 2-3 of this peace lilies in a single pot, but make sure that it's not too wide so that the roots are not freely sitting so much. It doesn't like to, the roots don't like free flowing soil, they like to be bound. Strange plants these are. Well, I guess that's all on my wisdom on these plants.